Back to Headbangers, it's me and Nathan here with Albion Codex. Danny, Jordan, how are you guys doing? How's lockdown life treating you?
There is no lockdown for me. I've been working throughout the entire thing, so.
Yeah, me too, to be fair, except working from home now, so it's just like nothing's really changed for you. It's kind of the same.
Oh, I've got more money because I'm not spending anything.
Gift and a curse, isn't it?
It's a good one. I mean, if anything, I've got more. I've been working more hours and things like that because I have to, so.
Well, there's less stuff to do like in your spare time, so all there is to do is work, isn't there? Especially now.
Yeah, I'll probably clear like an extra 3-4 hours a day easy.
What about you, Jord? How did it go? How's lockdown treating you?
Literally nothing ever changed for me at all.
Makes two of us then.
Work in industry, so like literally nothing changed.
Yeah.
Been a bit miserable, a bit slow, but apart from that, nothing too special.
It's miserable because like you can't do much, so you're literally living to work, or like if we're lucky because we write tunes or play games or whatever. But like I feel sorry for girls mostly because like they're just cooped up in the house. They love going out and socialising, but you just can't do it. It's like I've got Ebony in the other room and she's pulling her hair out every day. She's got nothing to do.
Especially now we're going back into tier 3.
Yeah, I know, it's exactly so exhausting. I don't even see the outcome really. I just don't.
Yeah. Well, I was reading up. I don't get who like nominated. Bill Gates. So, like, who the fuck nominated him to be like the expert on Corona now? Like, he said, it's gonna be like this for like 10 years. I was like, if it's like this for 10 years, I can just see no one ever following it.
I think he invested like a shit ton of money in something. I can't remember. I think it's the vaccine. I think he invested loads of money in that, and I don't know. There's some fucking big scandal behind everything, and there has to be.
Well, the grant got given to Bill Gates, the Gates Foundation for the vaccine in the US.
Yeah, I'm sure he took some money down. I vaguely remember hearing that from a podcast somewhere. I can't remember.
If anything, is that what you're smoking, Nathan?
It's just a normal cig, mate.
Oh, fucking chonging it.
Nah, you know what I'm like? Quick talker, quick talker.
Quick talk, yeah.
So obviously, guys have a new album out. So how was that then going into the writing process? What was your favourite moments of it?
Go on, Jod.
Definitely, like you get a pleasure out of it, but it was difficult, and definitely like we drew it out for quite a long time. But the actual outcome of our EP, I think we are incredibly happy about, because it is done incredibly well, like compared to what we expected, if anything. In terms of a local band, for our first EP, over nearly 25,000 listeners on Spotify alone, plus they added 15,000 on YouTube. It's incredible. Like we didn't expect that at all, and obviously, like we worked incredibly hard on the EP, put a lot of thought into it, put a lot of ideas, spent a lot of time developing them ideas. Well over 18 months, just writing a 7-track EP.
The problem was we was like learning while we was writing, so yeah, I'd say we probably deleted 10 to 15 songs. I've still got them actually on my computer. They're just like, they're all bits of ideas. Maybe 70% of the song is absolute shit, but there's like 30 that's decent. We might come back to it at some point.
Right.
We had countless sessions, just me and George mainly, where we would like have bangers. We wrote Fatality in a day, maybe 6 hours most. We smashed that song. But other songs like Disease, they've probably been rewritten 10 times, because there were just certain riffs that didn't add up, the tones on the demos that didn't really match up for me. I'm quite like a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to stuff like that. And as we was learning as we did it, so it took longer. This, like, hopefully, it's shit because of COVID, but hopefully with the next stuff we do, it'll formulate quicker, because we'll be able to meet up quicker and we'll just work better with the time that we have. Plus we sort of have like the writing process down. Like, we know who needs to be there, we know who doesn't, we know what you know, what we need to do first, so that it's like it's quite linear now, whereas before it was all over the place.
Yeah. So I know that you work with Connor from Loaf on your EP.
Yeah.
So can you just like talk about like how that was? How did that experience differ and all that from like writing in the past?
Well, it was the first time we've ever wrote or been in the studio with anybody that's been like tuned in locally. We've usually gone to someone. I don't know. Actually, that's probably not fair. We've worked with James Hill in the past, who now does everything for While She Sleeps. So that he was good. But yeah, he's got a really good mind for it. He can, with us when we write, we spend maybe 3 days a week deciding on what the next riff should be, whether it should be a chorus or you know, whatever. And he does it in seconds. He's like, listen, I think you should go in this way, and it just blows your head off how good he is. I was the one that spoke to him the most because obviously he wrote everything out of my spare room, so I was sending him the shit back and forth and shit like that. And very good experience. I'll be going straight back to him. Is amazing.
Working with somebody that has that touring experience, and especially with someone that's been in a band that's like had worldwide success in terms of they managed to tour the world, they managed to they got millions of streams here, there, and everywhere. So having that input and saying what needs to go there from a band who's actually done it is so important, because they literally know what needs to go where because they've done it themselves and gained success from it. Do you know what I mean?
It's definitely like a good connection to have, isn't it? Like,
where it's like, so you sit there and you're like, oh, I want it to go this way, but no. Maybe it should go this way because like.
But in the same way, he follows the same music as we listen and write. Yeah. So he gets where we're coming from. So
you gotta think all the stuff he's done locally as well. Like he's done all of Starve to Survive stuff, or Starve now. Mortal Shift before they broke up, bangers, absolute sick tunes. Detest have started going to him now. I think their newest single is with him. Maybe I know they've got a track coming with them. MTXS was going there before, you know, a couple of members left, so obviously I don't know what's happening with them. But all like the top bands in the scene that are like releasing bangers, they go through him.
Yeah. Well, the mixing on it's perfect as well. Like it's so good.
Yeah. We got either a first lot back, and we were like, we don't know what to change because he's done such a good job to doing that. So it's not really changed, but from when we went to him, apart from mastering, because we were so happy with what we got back. Yeah.
So with your EP, have you got anything planned to come out after your EP, like an album or like a full-length 12-song album, or
like maybe like a side project or something? I don't know.
Yeah, like a full just an album with all the songs that you mentioned. There's some that got on the cutting room floor. Will you ever see like a resurface of them?
Maybe. I've got what I really want to do, I think, is just release like 2-track, maybe early next year or something, because especially with uncertainty right now, like we kind of wasted our EP by releasing it in the middle of COVID because we can't tour it. I mean, you've got big bands now, like, you know, they're planning tours for their newly released stuff this time next year, and we've all going to have exhausted it by then. We're not. I mean, they'll go to the big stuff, but us probably not. If we did a tour next year, it'd probably be pointless because everybody's battered our EP and it just won't seem right. So I don't want to like release a full album in COVID. Like that would just be, for me, I think it's a waste of time. So maybe just keep working on singles and things like that. We've still got stuff to do with the EP we've already released. We've got stuff like in the works for that. I've got maybe 4 or 5 demos that are going to be used in the future. Jordan's just started on some stuff as well. So we've got multi-writing now, which is another thing loads do, which means you can work a lot quicker. And hopefully we'll get back in studio very soon.
Yeah. To be fair, you could argue like the time in lockdown, you're going to get more people that are like not doing enough. So they'll be like more prone to listening to the album as opposed to like if they have like a busy life when they might be going out places. They've got time to sit down. I mean, I know me personally, I've had so much more time to listen to albums and check out new bands that I wouldn't have had that time before when I was like going to the office.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of the reasons why we did release it.
Yeah.
I think what the biggest one is, we just couldn't sit on it any longer. We saw Creek release theirs, and it was a banger. Everybody loved it, and we had Jack feature on ours. So we thought maybe we should follow in their footsteps, get ours out as well. What we're waiting for, we don't even see the end of COVID, so just get it out.
Yeah.
But I don't think I want to do it again. Not a full album anyway.
Yeah.
No, especially not the full album. But it's the best thing to do, because it's you don't know when this COVID stuff's going to end. It's obviously not going to end anytime soon. We can't. You know, as a person, you'd expect it to be over within a couple of months. So you'd expect the venues to be open in a couple of months. So
I think we've said that 5 times already, haven't we?
yeah, well, exactly. But I'm sure we're not the only band in that position, especially the ones that are cancelling tours to January, February, stuff like that, which is it's shit. It's absolute shit.
Yeah,
No, it is.
Well, it's like, what was it like? Because obviously you mentioned releasing it in COVID. Like, what was it like releasing it and being like, we won't be able to play this live? Like, what was it like for you?
Oh, it's shit.
Well, we didn't know, but we just hoped, in all fairness.
No, but to be fair,
I think
back then we thought we might be gigging before the end of the year, but now it's like it's even worse.
Yeah,
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Because I've had like a notification for I was going to go to see a band called Shadow of Intent, and they were going to play in Manchester. Originally, it was going to be August this year. Then it got pushed to January 2021, and now it's January 2022. So it's just like, it's scary to think how far it's going to go.
Yeah, it's like, as well, if you spoke to promoters like a couple months ago, they're like, oh yeah, we're looking at like March next year. And now if you speak to them now, yeah, we're not even like looking at next year. We're looking at like 2022 and shit.
I won't be either. It's just a waste of effort, isn't it? There is like local shows booked for back end of March, April time. And when I saw them at first, I thought, oh yeah, sick, it might return to normal. But I don't know, I can't see them shows going ahead.
It's like Groundhog Day, we're like constant in this loop where it's like, oh, it's only going to be for the next couple months, and it just keeps repeating and repeating and repeating.
Yeah.
Like
With
last
no
year
live.
I went to like February. So it's almost been a full year of not seeing any bands live or anything, which like for me it's been fucking shit.
And you also don't know the end of it, the extent. You don't know where the light at the end of the tunnel is, because it just seems like it's ongoing and never going to stop at the moment.
Yeah, it literally just feels like, oh, I don't want to be like telling my grandkids about. I remember, when you used to listen to a band, you used to be able to see them live. You can't do that anymore. It feels like that's slowly becoming the end goal.
It is draining though. For sure.
Oh yeah, it's just been really annoying because it's like every single like month that goes on, you think, oh, is it good? Nah, I was seeing fucking Boris Johnson's face going, people Britain, nothing's fucking changed, yeah? Just carry on doing what you're doing fucking before.
I know.
Yeah, it's
so obviously, like, you guys have made a really great EP, by the way. I was like jamming out to that today. Do you have like a certain song in it that resonates with you, like it's your favourite one? Like, could you explain that as well, like sort of the meaning behind it?
I think ours are probably the same in Fatality. That's why I said it earlier.
I think that was my favourite one, actually, that or Damage.
I think Fatality is the most all-rounded song. It's got a bit of everything, and it flows the best, I think. It didn't need a feature because it was just good on its own, and how like easy it was to write is also a good factor. And also, that day with George was probably the best writing session we've ever had. It just everything seemed to flow so well. So I've got so many good memories to write in that song. The song's probably a year old now. We had that for ages, and to be fair, that's the one that didn't change much when we went into to Connor, like to the studio. It probably 10% of it changed, and that was just more structural rather than the parts. So cool as fuck. I love that tune.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about you, though.
I love Fatality to pieces. Like I just think it has such a heavy hitting sort of sound to it. I think the best part of the EP by 100 mile is the end to Deprivation. The last breakdown in Deprivation. It's so hard, man.
See, I really like Disease. I really like
Disease is sick. Christian killed that. That fucking feature is unreal. I remember when I got the first take of that, and it wasn't like what it is now. It wasn't worse. It was just fucking super heavy. And like we had it, the raw file. I've probably still got it. And the guy fucking smashed it, because this is back when we had a couple of other features, and it was out by far the best one. So his stuck, and it was just fucking. I love that tune as well.
What was it like getting all the features and that? What was it like? Like, did you get any traction with it, or?
I'm not too sure, really.
The EP's gone through a couple of features, and the two features that haven't been on the EP weren't bad at all. They just didn't fit how the songs went.
Yeah.
So we had to chop a couple, which is unfortunate, but that is how it is. But as I'm getting the features, it's just a case of just getting in contact with people and just saying, this is what we've got. We want you on it because you will fit this. And do you want to do it? You know what I mean? And if you say yes or no, or blah, 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 fair play.
It's quite hard work.
I think you guys play a lot with like some really interesting sounds in the album that I like to, because I know you're trying to go for like hardcore and a bit of metal as well, but it's like the perfect blend. It's like, you know, when you make that cup of tea that's not got too much milk and right amount of sugar, that's what it's like. It's just a really good blend of both.
What now? You mean Builder's tea, which is the best cup of tea?
Yeah, that's right.
Nah, but
Can't be
I've
having
got to
that milky
disagree.
tea.
Builder's tea, nah, not for me.
How
It's
do you
too
have it?
milky. I have a drop of cow juice, 2 sugars.
That's it.
I let it brew
Two
for a good like 5-10
sugars.
minutes.
Yeah,
How
that's a
many
good
fucking
one.
sugars do you have, like?
You don't have sugar in tea.
Hey, fuck off! Yeah, of course
Never.
you do. Of course you do.
You don't
I-
have sugar.
Yeah, I definitely disagree. You
I
gotta have a
hate-
bit of sugar in.
I hate tea without sugar. I feel like that's like the worst tasting for me. Like, if someone makes me tea without a sugar, it's so honestly, if someone makes me tea without sugar, I take it as like a personal assault.
Do you know what? Do you know what I used to have in it? I used to have like 4 teaspoons of sugar in my tea, and then I used to have marshmallow fluff on top.
That's just pretentious,
Wow.
mate.
That's disgusting. That.
Yeah.
That's middle
I'm
class.
surprised I
assault,
have
that.
diabetes, to be honest. Like,
Fuck, I'm
I was
surprised.
asking for it.
You might as well put pot in.
Exactly. I'm down to like 2 now, though, so
It's
cut down.
disgusting.
What is? Marshmallow?
Marshmallow fluff.
Yeah, no, I don't get the hype about that shit. I see
not
people
bothered.
like eating it through the tub and shit. I'm like, that's just disgusting.
Yeah.
I'd be sick. I'd honestly, literally be sick.
It's like the texture, and then when it sits in your stomach, ugh. It makes you feel ill. Like, if I have marshmallow fluff, I'm shitting within like 10 minutes eating that stuff.
It's like
Think of it the opposite.
So like, obviously we're on the subject of features. So with like future releases and that, who would you say would be like the top 3 people you'd love to get on it?
No limits, by the way.
Well, we'd need a big bank first.
Yeah, I don't know, because I wouldn't want to say too early, and I most certainly wouldn't want to like disclose anything just because it for jinxing it.
That's true. Not
There's so many people.
We've had contact with much bigger artists, and if we go saying stuff now, it might ruin it. Plus, it'll like dilute it a bit, because then if any, people would know.
Yeah.
So, don't really make much sense to say like who are. Because the thing is they're realistic if 1, they like the song, and 2, you have the money to pay for them. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, who would you say is like? Oh, go on, Joe.
No, it's okay. Go on.
All right. Who would you say would be the biggest influences you've had like on your music? Like, who would you say was like the out of when you started playing and stuff like that? Who would you say was the top influences you got?
And maybe like also go into this album as well. Like, what was on your Spotify when you were like thinking about creating this album?
Collectively, I think as a band, I think collectively at the moment, our biggest like genre is the new metalcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new metalcore, the Alpha Wolves, the Darkos, the Conforms, the even like you can knock some metalcore bands like Knock Loose, Malev, stuff like that. But I think as a collective sort of influence, sort of like the new metalcore bands are definitely our biggest sort of like trait at the moment, because that's what we all listen to as a collective.
Yeah.
You know, we all have the same degree. You know, we want to go for that sort of style in that sort of way and genre and blah blah blah. But that sort of style is definitely like our collective sort of like joint.
We're all see us where I don't see us as like the typical band, because we all listen to like crazy music, like not just metal. But if we did listen to metal, we're all from like different sort of eras and stuff. George's always been into like, you know, his lesser known things, and you know, from other countries and shit that I've never even heard of.
Yeah.
Whereas me, I'm typical. I'm like dead mainstream. I grew up on Aston Alexandria, Devil Wears Prada, shit like that, and I've always loved stuff like that. And then you've got Lewis, who loves like 80s shit. He listens to some crazy stuff. I don't even know what he listens to. Matt, I have no idea what he listens to either. We've only just started writing tunes with him now, so that's to find out. And Charlie, all he does is listen to rap music from London, so you know.
Well, I mean, like on that topic, so we have a segment on the show, so we know what you guys like, you know, from your music, but like, what do you listen to when you're in the shower? You know what I mean? Like, what's your guilty pleasures? The stuff that you don't really tell people about, or maybe they're not guilty. I don't know.
I don't have any guilty pleasures,
No
because
shame.
I would literally, like Jordan knows, I don't care about music, mate. If it's got a good beat, if it's got sick lyrics, I'll listen to it.
Completely agree.
I listen to a shit ton of Russian hard bass, and it's so weird. Honestly, it's so weird because I grew up on like club music, you know, stuff like Scooter, just dead trancey stuff from like the 90s and that. So anything with like a heavy fucking beat, bass, and all that sort of stuff, I love it.
Yeah, you know, Scooter, like the first album I bought on like CD.
Same, probably.
So I
Actually, no.
TV.
My first album I bought was Kylie Minogue.
Really?
I don't know why. Yeah.
Actually, no, first one for me was Busted, then it was Scooter. I was like a little 10-year-old listening to Busted and Scooter at the same time.
Mine was
the
like
first album I ever
go on.
was Katy Perry.
Really? What fucking
Katy
album?
Perry?
What album?
You must have been a teenager. Yeah. Like, why were you? That's so weird. All right, so which was the first album you had bought for you?
11.
Was it a good album?
11.
Can't you imagine George is in his car like, I kissed a girl and
I used to back in the day. To be fair.
You're still like bang on and nobody's looking, just like, right, I'm gonna scoot this on while I'm just driving by myself.
Yeah, just like looking around like,
yeah,
and he's like, pop it on.
Just like turns down my left, turns up fucking teenage girls.
I've got some like chart like guilty pleasures, I suppose. I listen to anything Little Mix. I think that's it. I don't know why. Who else? Don't know. I felt there's a couple others
I think
that give extra attention.
Pretty good.
We listened to a bit of Ariana Grande in the past. Me and Jordan.
Yeah, I love that.
Why not?
Yeah.
I don't know. These songs are well made, so.
My first like album was you know that song "Riding Dirty" by Chai Millionaire?
Oh yeah.
It was like that, but like
tune.
it was like that, but 4 versions of it. There's like that and then 3 remixes, and I just listened to it on repeat for ages.
What about you, George? What about your guilty pleasures and all
that? I don't know. I've got like literally 1,000.
Go on, list a few off for us. List a few off.
That's when they're not guilty pleasures anymore though. She's got so many that you're just proud of it.
Just pleasures.
It's just part of your
honest to God, I will happily go on my Spotify and search YMCA and listen to that and be like, young man. You know what I mean? Yeah, no problem.
You've definitely got a thing with that band, because remember when we were fucking about at band practice and like we were like doing crowd killings like pop music and shit. Are you what did you put on? What the fuck did you put on now? Oh, Sailor in the Navy. They were in the Navy.
In the Navy, yeah. In the Navy, yeah.
No, you can crowd kill people to anything.
I will honestly. I will listen to anything. When I'm not around metal, I probably don't listen to metal as much. I've got a massive like obsession with like the 70s glam rock sort of scene. And that's my sort of like like the bands like T-Rex, Bowie, stuff like that. That's my go-to.
Yeah.
Whereas like you'll also catch me listen to fucking hardcore, metalcore, new metalcore, new metal, and my music taste is like so broad. Do you know what I mean? So
Right, with George is impossible.
I'm probably saying Danny, like I probably don't have a guilty pleasure because I just don't give a fuck. I listen to what I want.
That's
You know what I mean?
So like before the world, well, when gigs were actually a thing, like what was your best and worst gig story? You can pick in which any order you want, but yeah, give us the juicy
As a
stuff.
band.
Yeah, played or
As a
been
band.
to?
Yeah, as a band.
Oh,
As a band. Oh.
okay.
We did a run with Chamber of Malice, and we played Bolton. I can't remember what was the
It's the Alma
what's
Inn.
the venue? Alma, yeah. And we played. Unfortunately, Chamber, due to illness, couldn't play that particular gig. So Gassed Up headlined that gig, who were I think there was main support. So we ended up with main support to Gassed Up.
Not
And literally this gig.
We weren't
this
main
gig,
support 'cause we earned it. We were main support because we just couldn't get there in time.
Yeah. This particular gig, it was something like 2:00. I finished up work at 4:00, and we were like, can we make this gig in Bolton at whatever time? And I'm like, oh, everyone, but all of us are like, oh, bloody, what do we do? What do we do? And at end of the day, fucking, I literally leaves work at 4:00, gets to our practice studio, gets out of my car, into Charlie's car of a guitarist. We drive to Bolton, and it turns out this gig was amazing. This nice little compact venue, absolutely jam-packed. And it was just, that's honestly the best gig we've ever played, ever.
It was sick in
And
more ways than one, though, wasn't it? Like, it was sick in the fact that we were all chilling in bed after work, like, oh shit, let's get up, get dressed, and go. But it was everything. The energy driving there. I remember Tom, our old drummer. He was in a fucking great mood, and we were just having a right laughing car. And then when we got there, Mortal Shift was on stage, and it was just, the atmosphere was sick. They were smashing it. It was fucking ace. Gassed Up. Unreal, probably one of the best bands I've seen locally live. They just get the place moving quickly, and it was just sick to play. Fucking fantastic. I loved it.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome gig.
It's not like
but
the best story in anything like crazy. Just the whole day and as a whole, it was just meant.
Yeah.
What about
in terms of our
worst gig?
Our worst gig was definitely the gig that we thought like, let's take some time off and write something good, because we'd been playing this material for however long, and we thought like, let's sit down and write an EP. So we thought we'll take a hiatus, and let's just take a collective energy and just write something good. Do you know what I mean? Like something that's going to really take our band from there to there.
Yeah.
And then however so on. You know what I mean? And I really do think we've done that. But that gig was, we played Manchester, and we just had a terrible time all the time. I think we didn't feel it on stage. I'm sure that was the gig that our set got chopped by about 15 minutes, and we only had about half an hour set as it is.
It was because we had loads of technical problems. That was a shit day as a general. The fact is, we just got really stale with our set because we always rushed to write songs because we were just on stage like in 2 weeks' time. So we didn't really spend time on writing a solid record. So the tracks that we did have were poor in, 40-50% of the areas of the songs. That's a big problem, which we shouldn't have allowed to happen, because nobody fucks with a song that changes every fucking 5 seconds. It's not structurally right. So that was shit. We had some problems with our other guitarist amp. The tones were just like, they reset So we were playing with like factory stuff because it happened last minute. So it sounded shocking. I wasn't happy with that. And then that gig in particular, my string snapped. When I plugged my bass into my pedal board, the power blew out of it, so I couldn't use my bass tone. So I had to plug straight into the PA, which means I was using just the fucking bass as my tone, and it was awful. It was just shit all around. We got off stage deflated because we'd wasted 15 minutes trying to set up with all the problems. We played probably 3 of our least favourite songs because they were the start of the set. We didn't know we'd get cut, so we just chucked our instruments in the car, went for a drink or 2, and we thought, let's just write something because that was shit.
Yeah. What would you say, like, after you have shows like that, like, what would you say is like the biggest thing to like get over it and keep moving on as a band? Like, what would you say to someone that was like gets into shows like that and like, oh, you feel deflated afterwards? Like, what would you say would be the biggest thing to start going, okay, it'll be better next time, sort of thing? Do you know what I mean?
It was our own fault.
I think as like what I can say to a band is it's like don't let it get to that point. Like literally don't waste your time on stuff that you don't think is right. You know, just make sure that it's like invest in the equipment. Like we're in the process of like we never did before, but we're in the process eventually of buying like all in-ear technology for our backing tracks and stuff like that. Invest in laptops, you know, invest in equipment that's you can work to your ears. So you've got clicks to your ears, like so important. And we've realised that as a band, especially, that it's really important to work to time and backing tracks and in ears and stuff like that. So if you're a local band, like it does cost a lot, but if you want to make it, do it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's important.
I think so obviously like, you know, the hardcore and metal influences, like you must get like sometimes different kinds of crowds because you've got the hardcore fans and the metal fans and stuff like that. Like what's like the biggest difference would you say when playing the shows? Like do you see like a bit of a polarizing difference or is it kind of just similar to you guys?
I don't see anything different.
No different. See people moving.
I see the same people at shows mostly because they're the ones that really love music. You know, one that springs to mind, obvious, Jack Baker. He's probably been at every single show Albion ever played. That guy's an absolute fucking G. He's been to everything we've done, even when it was shit, just out of support. The crowd's more or less the same because the scene's quite small compared to what it was, you know, 5-6 years ago or something. So anything's good. You've got to represent and, you know, support any band locally you can. I'm a bastard for saying that because, like, I'll admit I don't go to that many local shows unless I'm playing them. That was one of my missions to start doing, but then COVID happened. And I will hold my end of that deal. But it's pretty much the same. As long as you can get the crowd moving, that's the most important thing. They'll move any which way they want. I don't care. They can throw bins at people. They can kick people in the face. All go.
It's the most important thing.
Yeah. Because obviously I've been going to gigs for a while. And like, at first, like when you see a hardcore gig, it's like so different to like a metal gig. But then like eventually you just realise it's pretty much the same fucking thing.
They
like
just move in different ways.
Yeah, everyone just does the same thing, but in different ways, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so, second, we might go on to the top 3 now. So, obviously, Jordan requested the big top 3.
Before we do that, can I get my laptop charger?
Yeah, go for it.
Fucking hell, man.
Should have said.
While he's doing that, I'll carry on with the last question that you just asked because
go on.
I just remembered that we've played some shows, like, you know, you're on about different genres and stuff.
Yeah.
We've played like crazy shows where like a metalcore band will open and then a fucking deathcore band will be on next. Then it'll be us, who's, I don't really know what we were back then. And then you'd have something like, I think once we had a fucking like rap metal band as the headliner. It was like, it's good because it pulls all sorts of different, you know, people in. But that's the thing. That's why crowds like tend to seem sort of act the same way because they're like us. They listen to everything. So
Yeah.
it's just if it's
Did everyone get the same? Did everyone get the same reaction then? So you have like the rap metal band, you have the metalcore band, the deathcore band. Is everyone giving it all then? No matter who's playing.
You know, people come and go. There's some people that just outright don't have time for a metalcore band, especially when they're like 2010 metalcore. You know,
Yeah.
I love that shit. I fucking
yeah, me too.
I'll vibe with it all day. But some people won't. You know, you'll see people go out for a fag instead, which is fine. You don't like it, it's fine.
Can't please everyone.
No, it's you know, it's not about trying to like please everybody. It's about just playing your shit and hoping as many people listen, or you know, fuck with it. So them shows are always a little bit weird. They're great because you get to see other shit rather than hearing the same genre for like 6 hours. But the best shows for that have been Spicy Fest because there's always, especially the first one was super diverse. There was all sorts of bands. And I had a fucking great good time with that. It was proper good. It appeals to me a lot because I like lots of different genres.
Yeah, I was gonna go to Spicy Fest to be fair, but like it was in Sheffield, and then I think something came up, so I couldn't make it to Spicy Fest, but I like proper gutted that I couldn't.
If
like,
there's
you know
another,
what I mean?
make sure you go because they pop off like it's just hours and hours of sick bands. It's exhausting because you're knackered from like moving so much, you know. You get smashed because you've been drinking since 12 o'clock, but it's fucking great laugh.
I remember Fall in the Brawl. I remember when Paleface played at Fall in the Brawl. I actually like feared for my life because like these two lads that just like a minute Paleface came on, they just started like attacking people. Like there's no way of saying it. They just were attacking people like straight up
that night.
Yeah, mate, I literally saw him just like start just bat beating the shit out of this bloke in the crowd. I was like, fucking hell.
I'm gonna stand back.
And the minute they started fucking coming towards me, I was like, nah, fuck this. And I like putting people in front of me, I was like, nah, fuck this shit.
Human shield.
Yeah, so we're gonna move on to the top three.
So excited for the new Paleface stuff though. That new Paleface stuff is gonna fucking slap.
All right,
have you listened to the 2 new songs that have come out?
Yeah, they're such a sick band.
Oh mate, fuck it, those 2 new tracks are like, so fucking good. It's like, have you seen that fucking guy that breaks down like vocal techniques and shit? I've just seen it like fucking, it's blowing up. Like I've just seen it absolutely everywhere. Every time I go on YouTube, there's someone reacting to it or there's someone like talking about it. They've got a
lot of traction at the minute. They're fucking, everyone's talking about them at the minute. I see them everywhere. Whether they're like running ads and shit, whatever, it doesn't matter. They're in our mouths right now. This is what they wanted, and it's fucking They're gonna have a good year, hopefully.
Well, where they from? A Paleface? Are like Swedish?
Switzerland.
Because I'm pretty sure that they in Switzerland they're opening up shows again.
Probably.
Like, a lot
of countries.
A lot of places at the moment are doing gigs apart from us. You know,
because we're the shittest country in the world. I mean, look at the government, man. It's a fucking joke.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think, well, it's just weird, isn't it? Like, not actually being able to go gigs. Like, because it's like, you think about it, it's so simple, where it's like, why don't you just get everyone to wear a mask? But they're like, oh, it's not 100% effective. But it's like, why do I have to wear it everywhere else then? You know what I mean? Like,
it's like why are we allowed to go to restaurants where there's probably the same amount of people at a local gig? And why are you allowed to do this, that, and other, but you're not allowed to do this, that, and the other? It's just like,
there's
nothing
a bit of
makes
hypocrisy in there, isn't there? Definitely hypocrisy.
Well, yeah.
Well, we've got those machines in airports where they take a swab of your mouth and then they test you, and it's like tells you within a minute that you're clear. So I was like, well, why don't they just make a fucking government grant where it's like, look, every business has to get this machine, yeah? They get the machine, and then before every gig, you just line up, stay 2 meters apart, wear a mask, and then they test you and go, right, you're cool, you can go in.
Because they don't give a shit
got COVID,
about
you can leave.
Mate, that'd cost fucking millions. There's no way they'd be able to do that. Where's the money come from? They just tax us more.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about the entertainment industry either. So like, I don't think they'd ever invest in that.
I feel like to open everything up though, that's a possible solution. Do you know what I mean? Because the machine itself, like podcasters and shit have bought it. Like Joe Rogan bought one so he could do like in-person podcasts and shit like that. Like See, for fuck it, then again, Joe Rogan's got like fuck you money on it.
That's what I mean.
Like,
Imagine how much it cost him.
Yeah.
It's probably like 10 grand or something, a realistic amount, something stupid like that.
yeah,
Should we start a Patreon and get people to donate so we can get one?
yeah,
We'll get you on for real next time, guys.
yeah.
If we're gonna set a Patreon, get one for Mulberry and Chef, and we'll just fucking make a sick show.
Sounds good to be
We'll
honest.
get the machine in. It's like, right, the only gigs that can happen in the UK is at Mulberry, and that is it.
Every
Exactly.
time puts in for it.
On a serious note, though, fucking we need to start making some sort of fucking visibility for these local venues that are like disappearing.
Yeah,
One by one.
we spoke about it on the podcast where it's like there've been no, like, every other business has got support, whereas venues still are not getting any support whatsoever.
No,
And it's ridiculous when you think that some of these venues are stood like even before like our dads were born or whatever the fuck. Like, it's like they've been there for absolutely years and they're just letting them fucking close down. It's like, it's just disgusting. Like, there should be some support put in for, because at the end of the day, it is a business, and it is a business that brings enough money in government to be able to get that grant back. It's like it's been completely forgotten about.
I'm glad that at least like some festivals have been given funding, but like it's just venues themselves that's not gonna get noticed. You know what I mean? And not getting the funding that they need.
It's like boom in Leeds that like they announced that big massive arts fucking
Arts grant.
yeah, and then boom still hasn't got any bit of money.
I don't think any metal venues like that will.
No.
I think it's sad but to the government, they don't give a flying fuck, mate. All they care about is their interest, isn't it? You know, fucking going shooting and shit. They don't give a shit about, you know, when they see arts or whatever, they're probably still giving money to these, you know, big other art, you know, art, whatever. It's a massive collective of stuff, but there's probably funneling money into their interests rather than, you know, the stuff at the bottom, like us in metal venues, or not any venues even, you know. It's like these pubs now, they're all buying microwaves and fucking selling meals because it's you know, that's their way of trying to cater for it. Whereas a venue that puts on shows just have no way of making any money.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Well, it's like, one thing I want to ask is like how do you think from a band perspective how the local scenes can recover after this then?
Yeah.
I mean, they will somehow. The thing is we don't know. We don't know how we'll recover. You know, we don't know what our lives are going to be like. So, speaking about the scene is just, I don't know. Everything's probably just going to revert to online, like YouTube streams, and you know, like these people are playing shows to no one, but to everybody on a live stream. I think they tested it. Yeah, they did. They did it at what's that venue in Sheffield? Manchester called? I always forget.
What's it called?
Rebellion, that's it.
Yeah,
I kept thinking Revelation. I knew it went that. Yeah, they played a live stream show there, which is sick, but it's not good for the band because there's no like one-to-one connection.
Yeah, there's no energy to feed off of.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's just an empty room. Like,
standing there, like, you know, you wouldn't be feeling it. It'd be hard to play, I would imagine.
I did one for Bloodstock, and I remember, you know, we were watching it, and there was, I think it was a band called Unleash the Archers, and she was just there like, yeah, everybody put your hands up, and I was just like, oh fuck me. It's just
a bit cringy,
so awkward. I feel so bad for them because they're like trying to create energy and shit, and it's just not. It's not working. You can't really do it when you're not playing to anyone.
Well, to be fair, that fucking Bloodstock thing, they were showing footage that you could find on YouTube, and I was like, we paid $5 for this.
Do you mean I paid a $5?
Yeah, you paid $5 for it.
You guys just watched it?
Hey, we could have watched most of the fucking gigs for free, to be fair.
On YouTube, yeah.
But yeah, I don't see like a proper endpoint with it. I feel like one thing that they could do, I can see happening, is what happened in America when a lot of local venues shut down for some reason. That I think post-COVID there'll be a situation where people are renting out, like, you know, like leisure centre halls and shit like that, and putting on like proper DIY gigs that way. Yeah. Or like, there's fucking loads of shows in America where they do it outside of someone's fucking garage.
That'd be
like, I can see shit like that eventually becoming like the norm, because if there's not any support for these venues, they will shut down. But I feel post-COVID, the music, and the local scene will just eventually be like, well, there's no venues. You want to just rent out a fucking a leisure centre hall, or just fucking do it in your back garden or something.
Yeah,
I can just see
find
things like
ways.
that happening.
What'll happen is
Yeah.
the ones we know, if it goes on for too long, the ones that we know now will close. But there's always somebody with money somewhere,
Yeah,
and they'll just open new ones, but it won't feel right because that are the venues that we're used to playing for the past few years or whatever. They have so much character and they've memories there and shit. Sounds sad saying it, but like they'll just get fucked over and then someone else will come along. There's always somebody with 10-15 grand in the bank to give to the bank to get a loan to open a place.
yeah.
So
Someone will create an idea.
like you say, if it did last for 2 or 3 years or whatever, more would come. But right now, it's danger time for the ones that are around because you just don't see the way that they can make any money, especially places like we've talked about Mulberry. People, you don't go in there for a quiet afternoon drink. You don't go in there for a pub meal. You go in there to smack some kids to some heavy music or maybe to vibe some chill music, whatever.
All the
That's it.
karaoke
It's
night.
their only-
Yeah,
Exactly, it's their only market. So how are they meant to stay afloat if they've got no money from the government? They've still got a mortgage to pay. Like you're looking at a couple of grand a month for that.
Yeah.
Council tax also a couple of grand. Even stuff like electricity to keep everything on. You've still got to keep water flowing through the pipes. You've still got to keep it warm so it doesn't get fucking rot and stuff like that. It all costing money, and people just don't. I mean, people know that they're struggling, but people probably don't realize the extent as to what it is. If hopefully they've got some savings that they're eating into and they can stay afloat. But even still, they got to pay wages to staff and stuff. It's impossible.
Yeah, like the last thing I want to see is like local bands having to book the O2 and shit because their prices are just extortionate. Like
It's
for an
impossible.
actual
It won't
gig.
happen. Their stage is probably $5,000, mate. It won't happen.
not cheap. No.
Well, if you got to think about it, places like Plug and Corp in Sheffield, they're minimum 500, and that's for your smaller stages. So a place like O2, I don't know what it is, but it's probably at least $5,000. And a local band or a local promoter cannot afford that. There's no way they can afford that.
No promoters would be like, spending that.
The O2, you have to go for a promoter, and nobody's promoting it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The thing is, they'd have social distancing, so they'd probably have 10-20% fans.
If there's one venue in Sheffield that'll survive, it will be the O2.
Yeah.
And literally, all the other venues will suffer. And then obviously O2 being, the big fucking name, will survive. And what do the O2 put on? Nothing. There's never a good band in the O2.
There's like
never a good show.
Or something.
In Sheffield especially.
Yeah.
There's never been a good show at the O2 ever. Because it's just too mainstream. So these ones that are catering for the other bands literally suffer. They crumble straight away. And it's the same in every other city in the UK.
Yeah. It's like I can't even remember the last time I went to the O2 for a gig.
I think it like 3 years ago for me.
Genuinely can't.
The last time I went to a gig at the O2 was Electric Six in 2014, and that was in the O2 Academy 2. They come all the way from America, and they're a worldwide band. Like songs like Danger High Voltage and Gay Bar, the two probably most iconic songs in history in terms of rock music, so everybody can reference it.
What year did we go, George?
That's
We saw August Burns Red there quite recently.
I think that was the year before that.
23rd? No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I was at uni. It wasn't. It was 2016, I think.
Oh, be after then. So So the last show I saw was the Alexandria one. Alexandria, August Burns Red, Memphis Mayfire, which I was absolutely obsessed with. In Artswake.
Banging.
That's the first time I'd ever seen that band. What a fucking band, man! What a band.
That's sick. Probably one of my favourite metalcore bands going.
First part about it is if anything, me, Danny, Lewis, and Charlie from our band were all in the same venue at the time, We never met each other and nothing. And then we started a band in 2015, maybe 2015. Drop City
Maybe.
Riot, old band. Nevertheless, we started the band. We'd all been in the same room together, and to this day, obviously, we're still in the band together. And it's just like that's a crazy coincidence. And
No,
stuff
it really is.
like that is so important. Like you meet people. I've met so many people. I've been a corp so many times, and just like met so many stupid people, which I still talk to this day. And it's like you're losing your integrity.
Yeah.
Of everything, just
Yeah,
because nobody's getting support, and it's just so rubbish. Even it's like me and you, Nathan, when we go to band practice, places that we go to band practice, it's just like, will they exist?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, will Eiger make it through tier 3? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like places like I think like places like Pirate and possibly Blueberry, they'll be fine. But Eiger, like they're a venue and then also a fucking practice room. Like I don't think they'd be able to fucking manage it.
Yeah,
Right.
and big up if they like really, because like they're like a massive part of managing your band.
Yeah, I remember the first time we went to Eiger and we were playing and it was like there's so many memories there for us for Eiger. Right, the time I fucking broke that pedal board that they were using and shit. Remember? Fucking trying to ollie it and I snapped it straight in half. Yeah, remember next time we went?
Sorry, Eiger.
Yeah, remember next time we went and it was just on the floor with a wheel hanging off. Like, oh fuck! I thought they were gonna corner us. I genuinely thought, like, we checked the CCTV and we saw you fucking about on it, and now we want you to pay for it. I fucking shat myself. But it's like there's all these venues and small venues and shit. There's so many memories attached to them, like that you don't get with the big venues. It's like fucking Bad Apples. Like the amount of memories I have with that, like I'm fucking going out and Bad Apples is all.
Place, man.
Remember when we just fucking
we stumbled across a thrash gig and it was one of the best gigs we've ever been to in our life.
That fucking gig was like amazing because there was no promo on it. I even checked the Facebook, there was no event or anything like that. And then me and Jordan were like, "Can you hear music?" And we went downstairs.
Was like, where's this coming from? And then the barman was like, "Yeah, there's a venue underneath." So we walked in. There's a fucking thrash gig, and it's literally the best gig we've probably ever been to.
It was fucking sick,
so
that gig because it's like
absolutely packed. The room were absolutely tight, like a bedroom, and it was absolutely packed. It must have been 100 people there, like literally like potatoes. It was absolutely amazing.
Sounds ideal for you, that, Jordan.
And when I found out Bad Apples were closing, it's like when those places close, that you don't just. It's not just like a business closing. When you're like, oh, there'll be another one.
Some sentimental.
It's like it's all the memories attached to it that are also closing. Like if Boom closed, that'd be a big hit for me because the amount of memories that I've got in Boom, where it's like, oh yeah, I saw this band, I saw that band. That's why I met so and so for the first time. That's why I met them for the first time. It's like there's so much shit that's attached to them that I feel like people don't realize unless you're part of the scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That it's like you don't realize, oh my god, like this is where like a lot of people a lot of people that I met at those venues I'm still friends with to this day. Do you know what I mean? Like I've met so many of my friends from gigs and shit like that. Like I've met you from just going to fucking key club.
Yeah.
Like there's just so many like memories attached to each one of those fucking places. And if they're shut down, then that you're losing all memory you got of that. The last thing remaining from that venue is the memory.
Exactly,
and that's it.
Yeah,
it's wank. It's not right, really. But you know, what can we really do? We're waiting for next set of instructions, aren't we?
Yeah,
well, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, to lighten the mood. So I want to get into our top threes. And so, what are you guys' top 3 movies then?
Top 3 movies.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, mine is Friday. Banging movie. Sick.
I fucking love Friday.
Probably
love Friday.
Straight out of Compton because of its music, heritage to it. That's really good. Even though it's not metal or anything, the way that they develop, they write the tunes and go on tour and shit. That's such a good story. And my third one, I don't
I
know.
like poo. Poo.
Yeah, maybe Kevin and Perry. That's a fucking sick movie as well. It's a classic. You can watch that anytime, and it's like the first time you ever watched it. Sick,
Yeah.
sick film.
Well, I fucking love Friday. I love Friday.
Is Ice Cube in that?
Yeah,
Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the story of like Kevin Hart? Like when they were filming Ride Along, they were like he was trying to make him laugh the entire time. So like he was kept telling these jokes and it just be like stone cold silence. And they said they were on a plane and he saw Ice Cube giggling. So he was like, the fuck's making him laugh? So he said he ran over and he pretended to go to the bathroom and he looked over his shoulder and Ice Cube were watching Friday. It's the only fucking film that makes him. The only thing that makes him laugh is the film he wrote and directed and were in. That was it.
he wrote that film while on tour with NWA as well, which is
Yeah.
fucking sick. He was like
Yeah.
in his early 20s, and it's unreal. The director for it, I forget his name now. Fucking hell, he directed a lot of his music videos, and the film is probably the most simplest film out there. They're sat on a fucking doorstep for 80% of it, just looking at passers-by it. But it's the characters they created, and it's such a good film. I could watch it I could watch it 4 or 5 days in a row, and I would not be bored.
Well,
Even the
anything with,
second
like,
ones, even the sequels, are just as good. It's like
Yeah.
the
Next
bit
Friday
where.
is really good as well.
Well, have you seen in the second one with the bit where he's like finds out he gets sacked from his job and his dad opens up the thing, he's got like a ball gag in his mouth. He's like, huh?
Oh
He's
yeah,
like beating the shit
his
out
uncle,
of him.
yeah.
That's fucking mint. Every single Friday film, there's not a bad one.
I mean, anything with Ice Cube in's always really fun as well.
Yeah. What about you, Jod? What's your top 3?
Oh, fucking hell. Shawshank, the
Bang your
best film known to man.
You know, I've never seen
Alright.
Shawshank Redemption.
You've never. Oh, Shawshank's
What?
amazing, man.
And it's
Hey,
like,
Brad, you studied film in uni.
well,
Did
exactly.
that not pop up once? Did that not like
I know.
pop up once where it's like you should watch Shawshank
Actually-
Redemption? It's probably one of the best films ever made.
Well, that's what I
Like-
mean. It's like probably one of the most well-known films ever made. I've never really sat down and watched it, and I don't know why.
The second, the Dallas Buyers Club. I'd encourage anybody to watch that film. Dallas Buyers Club is so fucking sick. Matthew McConaughey is an amazing actor.
Yeah, you told me about that a few times.
You see, I've not
Um,
seen Dallas Buyers Club.
You know,
No.
So sick, man. Proper sick. And third. I don't know what's a third, man. I like so many films. I don't know. Yeah. I like Kangaroo Jack. That's pretty
Oh,
decent.
Yeah, you know, me and my brother used to binge watch that movie like all the time, like to the point where
when
it
he
got.
when he puts that fucking fireball in his mouth,
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like 13 years old, I was dying, man.
What about that bit where like the pilot gets shot with a tranquilizer gun? He like falls asleep and they're doing like a nosedive, like fuck. Fucking Kangaroo Jack is a right film.
No.
it's what you said before, though, like, you know, when you watch a film over and over again, that you can survive the lines. I used to do that. I used to
Yeah.
like do that. I used to watch all the Harry Potters
Oh,
before I go to bed. I used to
Bangers.
watch them and then restart them and then watch them. I
Yeah.
can literally just quote it word for word.
There's a TV
saying,
channel
that's what I
I've
mean
got
about-
on Sky Movies, and it literally 24/7 plays Harry Potter films.
No,
I turn it
literally.
on every night to go to sleep. Fucking
It
bang.
just never gets boring. You just can.
I
You
was
can
watching it last night.
me and Siobhan watched every single Harry Potter. We've got the last one, you know, Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's fucking sick about those films, right? I watched that from being like 5 onwards to being like almost 16. Never got fucking.
It's
It
like
was like
timeless.
a family event. It's like
Yeah.
new Harry Potter's out. Who fancies going to the cinemas? Like, there's one of my. Those are my all right, favorite films. Right?
Yeah.
Fantastic
Straight up.
box set. Fucking, I could watch it all day, me. Easy.
So,
Yeah, there's fucking. I watched them all and I was like, I still don't get sick of these.
like, I've just got time for them all the time.
Have you noticed though, when you get older, you start noticing like plot holes in them? Wait a fucking minute. Well, how come? You start thinking.
It's funny you say that because Evan he spotted one not last night, the night before, and it was where what was it now? It was something to do with Basilisk in Chamber of Secrets, like, wouldn't it? You know, when it bit Harry,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
or when it sliced him, wouldn't it have like took the Horcrux out of him or some shit? She was on about it for like 20 minutes.
shit.
You know what I mean?
Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was already a Horcrux, so I was just sat there thinking, like, I don't know, it's too late for this shit. But yeah.
Well,
she
have you
thought-
seen that? Have you seen that theory online that the reason why the Dudleys were such bastards was because Harry was a Horcrux the entire time? So they were actually nice people until Harry went to go live with them.
Oh, that's
Because
true,
obviously Ron
yeah.
turns into a proper knob when he's wearing the fucking Horcrux, doesn't he?
Yeah,
So
that's
like
true.
that's why they were bastards, because they were constantly around a Horcrux 24/7.
Or maybe
So, yeah.
him being a Horcrux just rubbed the wrong way, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe him being a bastard made them bastards. But you know, you can see like in the early ones they didn't think of any of that shit, so they just tried to like pull little strings where they could so make it all join together. They did a good job, but there is still like some weird shit in there that doesn't right make sense.
Well, yeah, because when they started, the books weren't finished, were they? So they were like, they didn't even know Dumbledore died until like a couple, like, I think like a year before actually
Oh.
filming they were halfway through filming Half-Blood Prince,
I assume
and then they
that-
find out,
yeah.
but because fucking J.K. Rowling released it, so like, oh shit, so half the film had to be scrapped.
I assume that the books came out before the films even
No.
started.
The books were just near enough finished, like as the filming of the actual
Interesting.
fucking book, like the movies were started. It was like
You
Game
gotta
of
think though,
Thrones.
like filming and stuff like that takes so long. Like they're filming that shit way before you even think they are. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So next one, top 3 albums.
Albums.
You can pick Katy Perry if you want as well, Jordan.
Yeah.
We won't shame you.
Top
No,
3 albums. Fucking hell. There's an easy one actually. Horizons by Parkwave. That one's an all-rounder. That one's fucking sick.
That's a mint album.
I can listen to that front to back and not even blink. Fucking sick. Next one, probably Stand Up and Scream by Asking Alexandria. That one's the same story. Fucking, it was like quite important for when I was starting to get into music. That one. The third one. I'm gonna say Singularity by North Lane. Another same reason. Big all-rounder. Every tune's fantastic. Well written, especially for their age as well. They were super young when they wrote that. So
Yeah.
sick tunes, all 3.
Mine,
Go on, Jordan.
obviously, Messengers by August
Yeah,
Burns
that
Red.
is a fucking banger as well. Jesus.
August Burns Red will be my all-time favourite band. I'm not really a big fan of the newest album, but as for their older stuff, always bangers. Second, Challenger by Memphis Mayfire. Such an album, man.
That's a good album.
Really, really good. And probably the third, Reign of Suffering by Malevolence. You know, got me to the sort of hardcore, sort of beat down sort of scene. So, and all my hands up. I'm a fucking fanboy for fucking Malev, mate. I'm telling you now.
I think
You're the one that got me into them.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
I love them, man. I just think that album, like Condemned to Misery, and the entire album is just really well. They wrote that when they were 14, 15 years old. You know what I mean? It's just like incredibly talented. Either way.
The whole discography is just like amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's not a single track from anything that they've released. I think.
I remember when I met Jordan, I'd never even fucking listened to him. And like, I remember me and Jordan were out for pints. And he went, "Have you listened to Malev?" I was like, "No, why?" And the fucking look of anger in his face. Like, he went,
Yeah.
listen to him now. He went the fucking mint. And ever since, they're like one of my favorite bands ever. Like,
Never put out a bad song, obviously. They're fucking fantastic musicians, and it's really odd as well considering the personalities. It's probably only Josh that looks like he's in the metal scene.
yeah,
The rest of them just look like fucking, you know what I mean?
they look like
Fucking
top
madness.
you know what I mean? They actually like look like top man models. Like most of them. It's just like
Fucking Roadhead, mate. North Face.
yeah. fuck it. I think that, to be fair, I think Malev are the ones that like sort of brought in, hardcore fashion to the UK and kind of set the standard. Because like,
Chav.
if you look at it, like American hardcore, they traditionally wear Dickies, Carhartts, and Nike. British hardcore, they traditionally wear North Face, bit of Carhartt inspired by the fucking, like the American side, and they also wear Nike trainers, but they wear like the shit like that the chavs would wear, like suit fucking, yeah, like they'll wear like the fucking what's it called, Air Max and shit like that, like. So I feel like Malev, they're the ones that started like the actual dress sense of like UK hardcore in a way. In it, like, do you know what I mean? Because everyone, as soon as they came out, everyone started dressing like that. Like if you go to a hardcore gig, I will actually buy you a beer if you don't see at least one person wearing a North Face jacket. Like, I will legit buy you a beer if you don't see one person. Like,
Well, I think it's
Awesome.
They definitely fucking contributed to that, like, 100%.
yeah, it's like I feel like they get a lot of shit from people, but you got to think that the biggest band probably in the UK hardcore scene, and like a lot of them, like, they're not even that good, but I'm like, they are.
They are, yeah.
I hear loads of people say, oh, they're overrated, they're over like this and that and the other, but I feel like it's like, you're just fucking jealous, man. Like,
Yeah, but they've created their own dress
Oh,
sense. You know what I mean? For the scene, they've also like got riff upon riff.
Oh,
that
yeah.
is just memorable. That still sticks in my head to this day.
Yeah.
And apparently, I mean, I'd love to see them, but I know that they put on amazing shows and what.
Oh yeah. Remember when you went to go see him
that's all
with
the three
Not
things you need.
Loose?
Oh, what a fucking gig that was.
I was fucking banging that.
That was mental. I was wearing steel toe cap trainers because I had a fucking operation on my foot.
Yeah, I remember when you
left,
turned
right, and
up.
centre.
Yeah, I remember when you turned up, you were wearing them. Those are some fucking sick trainers, though.
Amazon, mate.
Milev's fucking set. Milev's set had been going for fucking 12 seconds, and I was already on the floor.
Oh, yeah,
I remember that.
You got fucking clothesline, didn't you?
Literally the minute I lost my head, I was like, that's it. That's it, I mean.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite gigs recently. In fact, that was probably the last gig I went to, I think.
Really?
Like, probably.
Same.
Probably, yeah.
Same. That's the last gig I went to, May last year. No, December, sorry. December.
Yeah, because it was same day as your birthday, wasn't it? Well, no, your birthday night out was after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking that. Right, you should have fucking come, Brad.
I know. I was at Arcspire, but I do regret not seeing him as well.
I was fucking messaging him saying, come down, and he's like, no, I'm at Arcspire. But Arcspire wasn't near.
I don't know.
In all fairness,
to be honest, but
big up Justice for the Damned because they were fucking sick.
You know what's heartbreaking about that gig though? Like the fact that Justice for the Damned didn't have any audience. Because remember when we turned up and there was like, there were like 4 people moshing, and then there was like 10 people around. But it's like
I thought they had quite a bit. I don't remember it like that. I thought they had a decent crowd down there, but I can't remember. I was talking about like getting merch and shit. So
not as much as the other bands, because the other bands obviously were even being like bigger in the UK, but it's just they deserve the better a crowd from what they got in Leeds, especially.
Yeah, like Justice for the Damned, like their new record. I was trying to convince Brad to let us review it in the fucking thing, but we were too late, wasn't it? But like, their new record's amazing.
Oh, it is.
It's fucking
start to finish
amazing.
Like, on the Pain.
Yeah.
It's the one.
Or How She Built Was Burning. What a track.
Yeah.
Is that the track it was called?
Yeah, it's the Guidance from the Pain and How the House She Built Is Burning. Like my 2 favourites.
Incredible.
They've got such a rich tone as well. I showed Brad them playing live, and Brad like, how have I never seen this before?
So I mean, like, I was just Ghostmatch feeling high typing. It was
just fucking meant.
Yeah, the show looks great, and that was in like Australia's one, like the hometown.
Yeah, it's like what me and Jordan were saying at band practice. Like, name one bad band that comes out of Australia.
They are on a smooth
run. To say they've got like the hardest job crossing the fucking seas to play shows and stuff, we all know about them. They're all fucking fantastic. You know, you got Biotics Murder, North Lane. fucking Alpha Wolf. There's just so many of them. They're fucking mint.
Yeah, like even the smaller bands from Australia, they're like light years ahead of like a lot of bands here. Like I feel.
Yeah.
What about the new one, Volatile Waves in like the hardcore sort of scene? What a fucking track they brought out with Alex from Malevolence on.
Oh yeah, I listened to that EP all the way through, and I was like, this is fucking mint. Like genuinely,
Really, really good.
and they're like classed as quite a small band in Australia as well. It's like the amount of fucking talent that's there. I think it's because it's that big. Like to get big, you've got to talk constantly, but you're talking like 8-hour journeys to like get to the next venue. So the bands that get out are the ones that have worked their asses off.
Spaces like that as well.
I can't help but think that Alex from Lev probably did help it.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah, definitely, because a lot of people would have just jumped on it just because Alex was on it. But I never said that. It's still a fucking mint EP, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
really big band.
So I want to switch it up anyway and end on something that's a bit more different, switching it up. Have you guys ever had any unexplained experiences that you can't explain, obviously, because it's unexplained, but it can be anything.
Like ghosts and shit.
Ghosts and shit, aliens and shit, whatever you want. Floor's yours.
Yeah, but I don't know if I was like asleep.
It's okay. We'll take anything we can get.
So I remember laying in bed. It was a long fucking day. I was awake for like 20 hours or something. And you know them like fucking sturdy as fuck IKEA bedside drawers, set. I laid in bed, and for some reason, the one right next to me, the top drawer just fucking smacked open as hard as it could, like someone just yanked it off the wall. And I just swung my head around, looked at it, and I thought, what the fuck? Closed it, went to sleep. I don't know if I was awake or if I dreamt it. I have no idea, but it always sticks in my mind. It's a great weird one, that.
I'm surprised you just went back to sleep like that. Fuck it.
That's why it makes me think I was either like too fucked to care or I was asleep. I have no idea. But
I mean, if you went like 20 hours without sleeping, yeah, you probably just like, oh, fuck it.
I used to do that all the time. I'm up for work at like 4:30 a.m. and I fucking go to sleep at midnight. So that's me every day, pretty much. So yeah, it could be me just fucked out of my mind, or it could have happened. I don't know, but I always remember like it did. So that's my story.
At least it didn't ruin your sleep there. You're just like, oh yeah, I'll just go back to sleep.
I remember thinking about it when I woke up, like, what the fuck was that anyway?
Oh, that was a bit odd.
Yeah.
What about you, George?
I think
I'm gonna come out with some right bullshit.
I don't think I've heard like I don't know, because I've always worked in factories my whole life, like old factories. So I've always felt a bit uneasy in like little places and stuff like that, especially like 6 o'clock in the morning when you're like the only person there. But I don't think I've ever experienced anything like dodgy, you know, so I can't tell you. I really can't.
I mean, to be fair, like working in a factory, scary, isn't it? I don't know, something about them got a very sinister vibe.
All the factories that I worked in, they're old, so there have been people that have died in there, and there has been sightings. I mean, I've always been to places where I felt a little bit uneasy and stuff like that. You feel like, I don't know, there's something fucking behind me, blah 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 blah, but never felt anything like.
What about
dodgy?
Didn't you thingy? It's not like fucking ghosts or some shit, but do you remember when you went into that abandoned building and you got fucking chased out or something? That's a good story. Yeah.
Story, yeah. So in Sheffield, there's a building called if you know a company called Stanley Tools. The old factories, it's on Rutland Road. So me and my friend, we once went late at night. We'd gone onto the roof, and we're just chilling on the roof. You could see all the city in Sheffield for miles. Blah blah blah. I needed a piss, so I goes towards this little like outbuilding so I could like have a piss. It's on the roof. I'm like, I could hear this like noise, and like fucking pissing away, blah, blah, blah. Next minute, about 50 pigeons fly out at me, and I fucking
Fucking hate those fuckers, man.
I'm like, all right, I get it now. It's fine, fine. Blah blah blah. So we like keep on going, and this building's pitch black. So we're shining torches through this building, and next minute we walk through where it's like parallel to the wall. We're like got these like two young kids like just like doing a bit of urban exploring. Absolutely walking through, like next minute, like this guy coughs on the road, bro. The windows are smashed, and he coughs, and he's like, absolutely, hey, get through. I'm just like, shit, really him down. He's like thinking he's behind us or something. But fucking hell, man, it's probably the most surreal experience I've had. I've run it. I don't think I've ever run so fast in my entire life.
I'm scared about that. I think in Sheffield especially, there's so many fucking pigeons, and I do my head in. Like, do you know
You
Michael?
fucking lived there, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I lived there for years at Sheffield Hallam, like doing uni and stuff. But there was a time when Michael came up, and we were like walking. We were off on our way to Corp, and a pigeon just came and fucking whacked him in the face, knocked out a drink out his hand. It was hilarious. He was so
Just
pissed
got
off.
bitch slapped by
Fucking ruthless.
Literally, yeah,
Pigeons,
got
mate.
full on assaulted.
I think like I tell you, I once saw a UFO, and I shit you not, right?
Bollocks.
I'm pretty sure
But
that I
Chat
fucking
shit, mate.
told you this at band practice, didn't I, Jordan? You like bullshit, fucking bullshit. No, right, so I was outside having a cig, and I look up, and then like I thought it was a star, yeah. It was there for like a good 5 minutes. I was like, okay, and it started moving. I was like, that's not a star, is it? So it started
mate.
like. Honestly, it started going from one end to the other in like seconds, and it just fucking vanished. And then the other time I went out for another cig, and I saw 3 of them doing the exact same thing, where they were darting from one end to the other, to the other, to the other, and there were 3 of them all continuously doing it, and then they all just disappeared. That's like the weirdest fucking experience I've ever had in my entire life, because I was shitting it. Because like the first time I was like,
never
okay.
had like, alien experiences ever, but they definitely exist.
Liked it.
You know?
Yeah,
Eh?
I mean, you'd be daft to think that, we're the only fucking people inhabiting the solar system. That's just
Yeah,
doesn't make sense, does it really?
Can't be alone.
yeah. It's like I feel like they have.
There's more planets than like there is numbers.
Yeah.
So
You haven't even got a. You can't. It's unfathomable because it's constantly going. There's never
Can't put
an
a number on
ending
it.
point with it. Like it's like there's areas of the universe that isn't cooled from the Big Bang. Like there's still areas where it's still cooling. And shit.
the human brain can't even figure out a number of how many planets there actually is. So like, and you're telling me that there isn't something else or somebody else?
It's a bit selfish to think, we're the only fucking planet with inhabited
Yeah,
life.
like,
Exactly.
how,
Possible?
how could we survive? Us can't, So
Yeah.
Well, in all fairness, did they find microbes on? Was it Uranus or
No,
Venus?
they found evidence of microbes on Mars because Mars is like the
No,
only.
it wasn't Mars. It was Venus.
There's one further
Oh,
out,
you
there was.
No, yeah, I think
one of
it's
the
Venus.
moons. One of Venus's moons or some shit. I
I think it was Venus.
But no,
Venus.
Straight
Okay.
up Venus, yeah.
they found.
There
So there you go. There's more life.
Well, it's fucking. It's weird to think that.
What if you get back from it? What if they have fucking gigs on their planet like and we don't?
It's like a fucking. There's like
Imagine.
a planet D92225 version of fucking Malev. Just sat there. Mate,
Please.
what if there's like a planet where all Malev like look like Josh, where they've all got long hair and shit? How weird would that fucking be?
You know,
Are they all like?
What if like on like do you remember Doctor Who when they went to fucking polar opposite to us where it's like alternate universe, like we're all in COVID and like next minute they're fucking chilling this summer. It's like, oh yeah, we're having gigs, fuck you bastard.
And they get to just see us sat home like, yeah, we're fucking putting on loads of gigs.
Yeah, they're at Boom having a great time.
Yeah.
Full lineup of bands.
It's like
Oh,
fucking
mate.
Stranger Things, mate. Upside down.
I know. Get a paper, put a pencil.
Hey, I
through
tell
it.
you what, if they actually went out and we found this planet where it's just the polar opposite to the Earth, but you can pay X amount of money and we'll take you there. I'd be like, okay, is the gigs on? Yeah, there's gigs on. It's completely. I'd be like, take me
No, but
right now.
Imagine if that happened. You get in the mothership, you get there, and then they go into their COVID phase.
Oh yeah,
And then gigs
I
start happening here.
just like fucking noose myself, mate.
First that we've left is like, oh yeah, we're out of lockdown now, COVID free, and we're like, take me back, please.
So I'm just
It's
passing fucking
another
signs.
6 months. It's
No, these are
another
fucking
6
affecting me.
months.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good thing to think about though. Otherwise,
Yeah.
bombs and shit.
you know what? The minute COVID is like a thing of the past, where there's like we've got no new cases, everything can open up, business back as usual. That first gig's gonna be dangerous. Because you think about all the
yeah.
shit people have like pent up over the
Yeah,
fucking
it's
months
built
of
up.
no gigs. I'm gonna be.
To be fair,
straight up-
the first ones are going to be fucking. Everybody stood about static because they can't move because social distancing probably. So, but it depends whether people even listen. I reckon if gigs can go ahead, there'll be venues that will not care, and they probably won't be able to stop it. It'll be fucking hilarious. People just battering each other.
Yeah.
You
Imagine
can't
it.
police it.
Craven.
You can't. Who's gonna go in the middle of like a hardcore pit where everyone's kicking the shit out of each other and go, right, guys, can we
Guys,
all
please."
stay 2 meters apart? Can you imagine that?
Orderly fashion, please. Get whacked in the face by a crowd.
Yeah, fucking. I tell you what, key clubs shit themselves when there's like a beat down or like a hardcore gig because the security genuinely thinks there's like a fight sometimes. I've seen it where I remember when. Oh, who did I see? There's an American beatdown band that came over. It was Cold Hard Truth was supporting them, and it got a bit fucking frisky. This fucking big cunt knocked out 3 people, like straight up. They kept starting with him, and I was like, why did they keep starting with him? Because like each time they just get clocked straight in the jaw. Because they kept like fucking with him, and like every time they'd fuck with him, he'd just clock them straight in the jaw, and they'd just go down, like with one punch, and then they'd stand up. And then 10 minutes later, they'd go up to him again to start with him, and it just been a repeating fucking cycle. Why they just not fuck out of 3
He
guys?
just needs to level up first.
Literally
before they can defeat the final boss.
all night they'd go near him, and he'd just punch him straight in the jaw. He'd be like down. It was
They
like
keep coming back from.
it was like watching, Lenny from fucking Of Mice and Men. It was like watching someone with his strength at a hardcore show. Just knocking fuckers out like left, right, and centre. Like he just didn't give a fuck. Like 7 foot tall, and everyone walking up to him like, oh, fucking giving him all that shit, and they just straight fucking knock him out.
He's there just like, in the gym, just getting prepared for when gigs open.
He was massive. It was massive. I
Sounds
made
about
sure.
right for a Cold Hard Truth gig. They've done it. Fucking
Yeah. Well, I made friends with him. I bought him a
Mad
beer.
cunts.
I was like, I'm not getting clocked by this
Yeah.
guy. I was like, you want a beer, mate? There you go. Just stay away from me.
Do you reckon he eats like fetuses for breakfast?
Fucking probably that's where he gets
like
his
milk,
strength
starts
from.
sucking eating it.
Right. So I think we're coming to the end point of the interview. So what we like to end on is like, what would be your advice to a band that's starting out?
Yeah.
So literally like a band that's literally just started, what would you say if you could even go back in time and talk to your past selves? Like, what would you say to yourselves?
And pretend that the situation isn't going on. So don't be advising the band now, but imagine the situation isn't happening. What advice would you give?
That's such a weird question because we're just starting out.
Don't waste your time going to practice rooms right from a computer. Literally, even if it's just the cheapest software known to man. Don't waste your time going to practice rooms. Right.
Well, we know a lot about
that. Get a cheap, a cheap interface, a cheap laptop. If that's what you have to do, you'll definitely make your money back. Don't waste your time on practice. I advise, I know it's all. Use practice room to practice. Don't use practice rooms to write. Get yourself a cheap interface with your laptop. Get in your fucking bedroom, and it don't matter where you go. Just don't waste your time. It means a lot.
Right.
Seriously.
What's so funny about Jordan's response is I was saying that to him 18 months ago. I had to convince him to come to my house
Yeah.
to actually write some tunes because I said, listen, because the problem is, right, you get to practice, you've got guitarists keep competing with each other, turning up every fucking 3 seconds. You got a drummer who never, ever stops. I don't care who or what drummer it is, they're doing it. They're just going to play over you every time. So then you just sit there waiting for something to happen. Never fucking happens. You can write, but the progress is stupidly slow. Unless you're, a fucking mint band, whatever, prove me wrong. But writing from home, definitely the best way for me, anyway, at least.
So,
I mean, that's not the only advice. I mean, it's hard without sounding like a dickhead because we're starting out, we might have released an EP that we're super proud of, but that's still only step one. You can't, there's step one is what people see in like their eye, and the first thing they see from us, bar all the other shit gigs we did, and when we didn't put our hearts into it, whether we wrote shit songs, that's step one. So just write some tunes, make sure they're good, fucking smash it when you get on stage. Simple as that.
Easy peasy.
It's not easy.
Make sure
No, maybe not easy peasy.
you're all like super friendly with each other as well. Like, don't be fucking. If somebody's fucking you off, fuck them off. Early days is so important. Like, we're incredibly like we're in a band with like our friends. You know what I mean? Like, obviously we've had a member change. Like, I'm not gonna get into it, nothing like that. But like, we're in a position now where we've got like a new drummer.
Yeah.
And especially with our next material, we're gonna have a completely new outlook. We've got another fresh face. Make sure you're in a band with your friends that want to be what you want to do, what you want to do collectively, and just don't waste your time. Literally, don't waste your time. If it's not working, it's not working. If it's gonna work, invest. You know what I mean? But don't waste your time going to a room and just like, oh, let's try this out. It's like, let's try that out. You know what I mean, Nathan?
Yeah, mate. But how many practices did we have where we're like, can we just write from home more? Fucking the amount of practice. We must have spent
you waste money
at least $1,000 each of wasted money over the year.
Yeah, it's daft. We imagine when we were going pirate, George. I think we went pirate 3 times a week, which 25 quid sessions. We were probably spending fucking £700-800 a month sometimes, just because we were just there all the time. I remember when I first joined, I think we went every day for a week, and that's like fuel as well. I'm driving up to top end of Sheffield every fucking day. Like, it's madness. But another thing I'd say to people as well is like, I've like total honesty with each other. I'm one of them people that's dead forward speaking. You could tell me to fuck off and that I'm wrong, and I'll take it on the chin, like, fine, but tell me how I'm wrong. And that's how I'd want to be with everybody. Me and Jordan have sort of had that relationship. Charlie, don't know, depends what mood he's in. Matt, I'm not sure because he's so new. And yeah, Lewis is the same as us. You can say what you need to say to him. Don't really like it, but it's the best way because you don't move forward. If you stay silent about something, it could be something really small, like a riff in a song. But the thing is, the more you hear it, the more it'll play on your mind, and the more like negativity it'll bring in the band. So like, you just need to say, listen, I do not like that. Can we do something else?
Yeah.
I think
it works on all aspects of being in a band as well. It can be something minor, it can be something major. Doesn't matter what it is. Just make sure it's out in the open. Otherwise, you're destined to
fail. At the end of the
fail.
day, you're all fucking friends, man. Like, literally, it doesn't matter. Like, don't just be a band. Go to do other shit as well. Like, go for drinks, go for some scram, whatever. Chill at each other's houses. Don't just go to practice once a week, and because then it becomes a job, and it's not your job, it's your hobby. Until you get in some serious whack, and then you can quit your job. Then
I think like you got to like build relationships with people, you know what I mean, and like make sure, because I think the honesty comes with that. The more you get comfortable with someone, the more you can tell them, right, that riff shit, I need it rewriting.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's all really important.
Yeah, I think the worst thing you can do is bottle it up, because before you know it, you'll be out of practice, and then you're like, I'm fucking sick of this shit. And then everything you've been bottling up would just come
no,
out and it would just evolve into a massive argument.
This sort of all ties together actually, because when we was writing our older set, because me and Lewis drive from Doncaster to Sheffield to go to practice. So what would happen is we'd get in the car, ready to set off home, incredibly deflated because we'd not made any progress. And this ties back to like trying to write tunes in a practice room, which is hard. So we would we would probably go there for 3-4 hours, not do anything constructive because, like I say, we've got guitarists on 2 different fucking wavelengths, so you can't really, you know, join up there. You're just writing stuff that's like subpar because you're trying to like force it and things like that. So you get in the car, you're deflated, you're chatting about it on the way home, you get negative about it. You might say something bitchy in the chat before you go to sleep. That fucks up the next day, you know, and it just starts to like weigh down on you. So it's best that you just fucking be honest then and then.
You just got to air it out, haven't you? You just got to air it out. That's like the biggest.
Definitely.
I feel like that's the way a lot of bands struggle, because a lot of bands will just, because they're scared to upset people, they'll just be like, we'll leave it, and then eventually I feel like that's why a lot of bands end up breaking up.
Yeah.
The best thing about Albion is that we can literally we could call each other this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. You know, just have that sort of like fucking that sort of banter sort of side to it. It's so important. You're best friends at the end of the day because you do a lot together. Do you know what I'm saying? And the best thing about Albion is like we're all incredibly close, and you know we can do this, that, and all each other. And we're just fucking mates at the end of the day. It blows in the wind. It's an argument. You know, it's in the past.
Yeah.
So it's irrelevant.
The thing is with Albion,
it's all about the music.
With for now, me, Lewis, Charlie, and Jordan have known each other for about 5 years. I've known Lewis and Charlie longer than that. Jordan's the most recent. So it sounds shit because we don't have a whole lot to say for that, but we kind of was late growing into making music, so we're just like sort of hitting our stride now. So that's that side of things. But because we've known each other that long, it's easy. You just fucking, it's like talking to your family. Whereas Matt's a whole new story because he's new. You know, we're still learning his personality and things like that. But he's one of them. Like he's like us. You know, he's not. You know, he dresses like us. He has our sort of personality. You know, he's not like metal. He's just like an all rounder. So like it looks bright because you can have a laugh. Like I think I insulted him the second time I ever met him in a friendly way. You know, just like maybe I took the piss out of his shoes or something, and it went down really well. You just like, you know, fuck off and say something back. So bang on.
But yeah, thank you very much for coming, guys. Check out the new EP here with Jordan, Danny from Albion Codex.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming, and have a good one.
Yeah, have a good one, lads.
Yeah, catch you later.
See you in a bit. Finally, got you on. Right, see you in a bit, lads.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.